So it's been about
2 months. Wait, when?
Alright guys, so it's been about 2 months since we went to the Stanley, and we kind of wanted to do like a sit down and chat. Like, we wanted to talk about the things that happened to us off camera, and we wanted to talk about the things that happened to us on camera, and just kind of review everything and figure out what happened. I'm trying to fix this first so I get it how I like it. A few of the things we wanted to talk about, definitely the lollipop moving, because I feel like half of you guys that watch the video are like, oh yeah, that was the spirit, and half of you guys are like,
no, that wasn't.
It was gravity.
Like the wind.
And then a few things off camera that we wanted to talk to y'all about. The biggest piece of evidence we caught was this lollipop moving on its own. So me personally, let's talk about what happened in the moment. So it moved twice. I saw it move the first time, which is like the more robotic movement where it just kind of like that.
And I saw it like tip over more. So yeah. I saw the second movement.
Because Summer says she only saw it the second time. Summer is the random chick y'all saw in the video.
Here's a picture of her. Put a really stupid picture.
Right here. But we only saw like half of it, so we didn't really know in the moment, so we had to pause the video and we went back and looked at it, and that's when we saw it move twice, and we were like, okay, that's suspicious. That's weird. I think what threw us off so much is that before we even showed that part of the video where it moved, we literally had the blue lollipop sitting there like that for like 10 minutes and nothing happened. I think what makes us kind of weary about it is that it was after we placed the 2 lollipops up there, so what if we knocked it over? Like, what if we pressed down next to it and knocked it like out of place or something?
Well, if we would have done that, it would have happened right away. It happened like at least maybe 10 seconds after we did that.
It was longer than 10 seconds. That's why I feel like it was something else that made it move. That's kind of our opinions on that. We want to know in the comments if you thought it moved or not. Okay, the other time we kind of got more evidence, or the most activity we had that night, was with the spirit box on her phone. And that was literally in the moment we were like, we're gonna download this and we're just gonna see if it works, because you never know, it could be a legit thing. I mean, a realistic spirit box is just a thing that flips through the channels and through the frequencies, so spirits can pick out words that they hear from the channels and speak to us using that. That's basically what a spirit box is. So it was kind of the same thing as the app on her phone. I think what threw us off the most about it was that we got legit answers, and usually you don't get answers for every single question. It sounded like we are here with you. If you replay it over and over and over again and you sit there and listen to it like we did.
You may have to put on headphones to have like a good experience with it, but
it's difficult to interpret it. That's just what we hear. If you hear something else, then like let us know, but that's what we hear. We use the same spirit box app in our basement video. We were like catching ghosts in our basement. We were playing scary games and stuff. We use the same one. In the video, I only kept like a minute of us using it in, but like we used it for a good 20 minutes and we never got a straight up answer like we did at the Stanley. So it could actually be legit. No? You don't think it's legit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not.
There was also a few things that happened to us off camera that we kind of wanted to talk about. It's okay if y'all don't believe us because we didn't catch it on camera, but a lot of the time in these kind of investigations, the spirits don't like interacting with you when the camera's on. I think it was like about midnight after we sat down and we tried talking to it for a while. We shut off the camera and we didn't turn it back on until about 3 a.m. and then that was only turned on for like 20 minutes, and then we turned it off again for the rest of the time we were there. Lindsay had the craziest thing happen to her, and I totally 100% believe her because y'all should have seen her face. Anyway, go ahead.
It was at least finally 5 a.m. I was the only one out of all 3 of us to actually stay up the entire time because I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to like miss anything if like we caught something. But so I was starting to get tired and I was like, we're probably gonna end up leaving around like 7 a.m. so I should at least get some sleep in. So I decided to pull like the blanket I had over my head because I'm a pansy and I didn't want to see like anything.
Oh, she wasn't sleeping on the bed either.
I
Me
was
and
on a
Summer
chair.
were asleep on the bed. I was kind of in and out of sleep, but we were asleep on the bed and she was on a chair that was in the corner of the room. You guys saw that in the video. She was in that chair.
I'm sitting there with like my knees up and I'm kind of like on my side. And I didn't have my phone to go on because I had to have it charged, but I couldn't sleep. I started messing with like my hands because I didn't know what else to do, and I started to feel like something was kind of watching me. A few minutes later, I felt this hand, like it was like this hand that kind of laid on my knee and like got dragged down. And as soon as I felt that, I like pulled my knee away. And I didn't want to take the covers off my head because I didn't want to like see a spirit or anything.
She didn't want to see the cowboy because that's probably what you thought it was right away.
I did. I was like, it's the cowboy like trying to take the blankets off my head to kiss me. So I kind of waited till I heard movement from where Summer and Jesse were sleeping, and I finally heard someone move. And that's when I go, oh my God. And I heard Jesse speak, so that's when I took the covers off my head and looked at her.
You told me right away, after you told me about the hand thing, you were like, I thought it was you or Summer messing with me, which we kind of promised we wouldn't do that, but I would see Summer doing that before me because I was scared to be there in the first place, but Summer was dead asleep. She was the only one of us that actually got, I think, like 3 hours of sleep that night. I was trying to sleep. My eyes were just closed the whole time. I didn't actually sleep. You said it was like, it felt like a man's hand.
Yeah, like our father's hand. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like have literally Dad just put his hand right here, and that's what it felt like on my knee. It felt like an actual person doing that.
Yeah.
Like actual pressure down on my knee, and it slid down.
Really quick from my point of view, because she said I was like sleeping on the bed, which is what I was doing. I was trying to. I kind of open my eyes and I look over and I see that she's under her blanket like she said she was, and I was like, oh good, maybe she's actually trying to get some sleep because we have a long drive the next day. And so I close my eyes again, and 2 seconds later, that's when she says, oh my God. And I open my eyes and I look over at her. She takes the blanket off her head and she looks at me with the most terrified expression on her face.
And I barely get scared at things. The only things that usually scare me are haunted houses, but like, I don't.
Yeah, you don't get scared easily. But you just didn't speak to me.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't really acknowledge me.
And when you like brought up the idea of, should we just go out now? I was like, yes.
I keep looking over at her and I'm like, are you feeling okay? And she's like, I just want to go home. And she kept saying she felt sick all day.
It got close to, like, we had maybe 10 more minutes until we got home, and my head, don't think I told you, but my head, like, I got this really bad headache, I think.
She stayed up till 5 a.m. before on her own time, and she didn't have any of this like headache or stomach ache or anything happen to her. But in the car ride home, she kept saying that she didn't feel well, that she just wanted to go to sleep. She had a massive headache, and she looked pale as a ghost, like even paler than she does right now. She looked as white as this shirt.
I felt so sick.
I think the craziest thing is if you go back and you watch the video, I don't know if I kept any of these scenes in, but throughout the entire night, me and Summer were messing around because that's what we do when we're together. We mess around all the time just because that's what we do when we're together. But if you look in the video, she's always off on her own in the corner of the room, constantly trying to make contact with the spirits. And something I heard her say over and over again, she even told me, she said it over and over again, she was like, use our energy, use my energy, use the phone's energy,
the camera's energy, anything,
to make contact with us. And I don't think I even said that once. I think that was always you that said that. The day after, like, we got home.
Yeah.
We took a nap and everything.
Well, I couldn't. I tried to take a nap, and I just couldn't because I wasn't tired and stuff.
Yeah, and you still weren't feeling well. But Summer and I were, like, cleaning up our bed in the basement or whatever. And upstairs, we hear the loudest bang. And we're just like, okay, someone fell over. And we come upstairs, Little did we know, Lindsay just freaking blacked out and whacked the wall with her head.
Here's the proof. Here's the proof.
You're gonna go show the dent right now.
I'm gonna show the dent. Right here, you can see it so well. Right here is the dent. That was never there before.
That was not there before. What was kind of crazy, I didn't really put it together, but the one in the family that has a history of blacking out and low blood sugar and everything is me. I've passed out 3 separate times on my own. Lindsay has never ever blacked out before in her entire life, even when she stayed up till 5 a.m. the first time.
The first time I stayed up till 5 a.m. was probably, I didn't like black out or like anything. I felt fine.
But like, it really makes me wonder if the cowboy took what you said and used your energy to touch you that morning. And the other thing that you said was that over and over again you were telling us that you felt a connection with the cowboy.
Because when I was sitting in the chair before, like I felt his hand like touch me. I was near a desk and it felt like what you'd usually do with like a pen, you'd tap it on like the desk or something when you're bored during like class or like, I don't know, but you tap it and that's kind of, I heard like a small little tap.
Yeah, that's also what you talked about. And neither Summer or I heard it, I don't think. I have no explanation for it. I just remember seeing you so scared the entire ride home.